Marquette Devon Burton, the saint and the sinner. My people, I want to talk to you about therapy, therapists, psychology, psychologists, and I want to say that I think most of the people calling themselves therapists are frauds, meaning that they're not worth your time. They cannot really help you. Why do I say that? And yes, I say this as a person who's also educated, went to Berkeley, went to Johns Hopkins, been around people in this field, and I'm telling you, I think mostly it's a waste of your time. Here's why. I know a young lady, her name's Sarah, met her recently, gorgeous woman. She shared with me that she had lost over 100 pounds. I thought, whoa, that's a lot of weight to lose. Hell, that's a lot of extra weight to have on your body. 100 pounds, that's damn near like having an extra Asian woman attached to you while you're walking around the planet Earth. Anyways, I said, wow, that's miraculous. I'm curious. One, what made you overweight in the first place? Two, what made you turn around and lose all that weight? Now, mind you, the woman I'm asking, her name's Sarah, she's a therapist. She says, well, I have an older sister who's about 2 years older than me. My whole life, she's been jealous of me. And every time we'd be at home or we'd go out to eat, she'd always offer me extra food. And, even after I finished eating, she'd say, oh, have some more. And I thought, oh, gee, that's terrible. I'm a little bit surprised though, because just a 2-year difference, I wouldn't think that person would be able to manipulate you at that level. So then I say, well, how long did this go on for? She says, well, this went on from the age of 14 all the way to the age of 25. Whoa. Well, first off, at 18, they say you're an adult. At 25, your brain is pretty much fully developed. If you're full and you're 23 years old and someone says, hey, have some more, and you say, okay, that's your fault. Her blaming her sister still, at the age of 25, she's still blaming her sister for her having been obese. And it's ironic because her sister's not obese, so you think she would have been paying attention, like you're telling me to eat more, but you seem to be finished. No, that's your fault. You were gluttonous, you were greedy, but here's the reason I'm talking to you about it. She calls herself a therapist. If she is not even skilled enough to introspect and acknowledge the fact that she's deluding herself and lying to herself about why she's overweight, how's she going to help you with your problems? So I challenge that just because you've went to school, earned a degree, earned a certification, maybe got a master's or an advanced degree, that does not make you qualified to be a therapist. The thing that's missing in the field of therapy or psychology is the fact that you have to have high emotional intelligence. When these people are getting their certifications, they're getting certified for their academic prowess, right? And generally speaking, the prowess isn't really there, right? Because it's kind of like a driver's license. Everyone gets one. If you try to get it, you'll get one. But the fact is there are a lot of people who are horrible drivers and there are a lot of people who are great drivers, right? So you have the beginning of the spectrum, which is like, hi, I'm a Chinese woman, to the high level of the spectrum, which is like, I drive NASCAR, right? So when you have that level of range, but everyone has a driver's license, there's going to be danger on the roads, right? And it's going to be hard to pick out who can really help you, who can perform at that high level. So what I'm saying is just because a person says they're a therapist or a psychologist doesn't mean they can help themselves or you, right? And I think in most cases, they cannot. In most cases, they're useless. I remember when I was at Berkeley, I took a psychology course primarily because it was filled with gorgeous girls. Half of them were brain dead, and it's over 80% female. The reason that people go into certain fields, you might say, hey, I want to go into business. I want to make a lot of money. I want to be a businessman. I want to go into sports medicine. I've been around sports my whole life. I want to help with this. Not good enough to be an athlete? I'll do sports medicine, be a physical therapist. People who go into psychology, these are people who have seen shrinks as a kid. These are people who have had a lot of mental things that they've been dealing with or observed in their immediate family. So it's not necessarily that they have a unique skill or ability that drives them into this field. You need to be cautious and suspicious. Me personally, I don't think you should be qualified to be a therapist or psychologist unless A, you have a remarkably high IQ, and B, you have reasonably high emotional intelligence, and C, you've dealt with your own baggage. You may have seen the show The Sopranos. In that show, the therapist, Dr. Milfy, who's providing services to Tony Soprano, she's a therapist and she's seeing her own therapist. Truth is, we all have problems, but I don't really want to see a therapist. Who has to see a therapist? You dig? So I just wanted to share that with you to say, look, guys, I think for the most part, psychology as a discipline, an academic discipline, the study of the mind is fascinating. Most individuals who purport to be therapists, though they have the degree and the certification, I think they're woefully underqualified. And I just talked to this woman and I was just so disappointed that as a society, we allow her to poke at people's brain and help them when she can't help herself. So I just want to say this to you as a cautionary note, which is watch out for these nut ass people. So what I'm going to do is in my next video, I'm going to give you 10 tips for managing your own mental health so you don't have to go see Sarah, who's basically not going to be able to help you. Folks, that's why they call me the saint and the sinner. And I want you to remember that you are remarkable. And every day, you should make sure that you're showing the greatest part of who you are. Until next time.